Hello everybody! It's me, we're back. What's going? Let's just get started, shall we? What I wanted to do, first of all, is get a Goblin Tinker and a Meteor. So, in order to do that, I have to eat the Goblin Army, which is fun, to say the least. Not really at all. I also want to make some more houses, because that would also be very beneficial. I still have only why do I have Google open? Why do I have Google open? That'll hurt my freaking. That'll hurt my data usage. Let's get some trees chopping. Trees are chopping. Trees are chopping. Tree bug shell. I forgot what I could make use with that. Or like for gore. I have very much for gore. Guide. What are we gonna? What can I make? Tree bug shell. Can make a shell necklace with coast scarab shell. Kind of interesting. Well, it's not really that useful. Wait, I just realized I have the magic conch. That's actually helpful. How did I realize? How did I forget I had that? Don't ask me, I don't know. House. Oh, that's the J, not house. That's, I did not press backspace in it, really? Insta house. I can make 9 of them. That should be good. I'm not gonna go that way, I'm just gonna make it double layered. I'm gonna go underground. Welcome to the underground. How was the fall? Sorry, that was a bad impression. Yeah, that was not a good impression. Wait, what that? No, I did not want that. There we go. Yeah, I don't know if the place is corrupting or not. It's weird. I'm not sure if I'm concerned. But it seems like NPCs are still willing to live here, so that's good at least. There will be one house that has Crimson Divide. We don't care though, really. What the heck happened to my mouse? Did my boy die on me? No, it didn't die on me. Okay, that was weird. Don't know what happened to my mouse there. Something did happen though. Oh yeah, my mouse isn't gonna die. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh crap, I don't. I can do. Oh no, I can't do a break. Whatever. Be right back. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't know what was going on, but that mouse just stopped working. It's not the battery. So, that's fun. I had to go get my other mouse from my laptop, which I thought wouldn't work. Actually works fine. You can reach all the way around. I didn't think it could. So at least we're getting that front. Okay. Let's now sleep through the day. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's do the night too. I am through the day. I'm stupid. Hi, I'm Idolite. How are you? And tonight is so beautiful. Tonight. You have bleedy fall. Not bleedy fall. I'm smart. I'm no Idolite. I'm independent human being. Oh my god, my server would be messed up. My server would be messed up now. Not messed up. I don't. I can't think. Don't get upset at me. The zombie's not getting it anytime soon. Sorry, buddy. Anyway, since that side's a jungle, that side's a dungeon. So that means I want to go that way. I might set up arena 2. Let's go for arena. I have like no money. Holy crap! I have like no money. Charisma. Interesting. I also have war prices and enemies drop more gold. That's actually very nice. What do I have buff potion for that? Is there a charisma potion? There is. That's actually very handy. Wow. Okay. Let's head to the right. That's to the left. We said to the right. Thank you. At the ocean. Goblins, where are you? I'm going to fight the goblins. Not you, Slime. I said goblins. Oh, we'll take your lead though. That'll be very nice. This won't destroy the... It will. Like, this won't destroy it, right? Oh, it very much will. Oh, it very much will. Oh, you have no idea. Anyway, any goblins? Oh, as I was saying, I was about to say, any goblins gonna show up? Hello, how are you? Thank you for popping on in. I need you. Oh, green slime drops 6 silver? Dang. Pretty good. High beam. Goblins? Any enemies? Hi there. Wait, I can double jump on the slime? I don't remember that being a thing. Is that a thing, guys? Do you remember that being a thing? Because I don't. Ow. Ow, 2 damage. Oh, well. Rise up and jump off. Goblins? Goblins, you're gonna be here? You're gonna show your face? No. This windy day. I think this is windy day. Goblins, where are you? Oh. I just have to manifest it. That's how it works. Pop. You take a lot of knockback. Holy crap. I thought Goblins guys took less knockback. Guess I'm wrong. That money? No, it's a bombs. Bomb. Lamp oil rope. Bombs. You want it? It's yours, my friend. As long as you have enough rooms. I said that way too much. Could probably easier, actually. Wait, did I? I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I would probably be faster just to sweep nights and days away. Because I also need a meteor to fall. And each morning is a chance for both. So it'd just be better to have that go. I hate these. I'm here. There. Boring. I know, it's boring, I know. Can't really do too much about it though. I just have to deal with it. We need a meteor to fall. Or a goblin army to invade. One of those will work. Don't really care which. You can deal with that, right? Come on, you got it. You should be able to beat a slime. Come on, architect. Thank you. Took you a bit. Eat a cookie while I wait. Hey, I knew it. I knew it'd be worth it, y'all. Let's go. Let's freaking go, Goblin Army. Oh, they have armor. What? I jumped into that. I'm stupid. Can you not? Hey, stop breaking down all the doors. Meanies. I worked hard on those doors. Bum 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 bum. I love this song. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bro, just take. They're not even aiming to kill me. They're just aiming to take out the doors. Can you not? Wonder if there's anything new in the Goblin Armies mod. I'm guessing no, but it would be a welcome change, because I know what can sometimes be a common theme. It's like a somewhat common theme. Get a little cookie. Nom nom. But I dashed into him. Stop that. Stop that. Ah, yes, I love that gas attack. Very helpful. Ow. Get deflected. Almost halfway there. Ow. I honestly thought you'd be more of a problem. This might be faster, actually. What's the notification? Wait, I need to see the notification. Phone. Face ID work, please. I don't want to die. Oh, just this? Stupid. Stupid! That's so stupid. That guy got healed instantly from the nurse. Wow. I'm gonna collect those doors real quick. If they will let me. Okay, this is not going well. This is not going well. I wanted to go collect those doors, but they don't seem like they're gonna cooperate. Which is unfortunate, but like... I guess I'll have to kill them first. Can you not? Thank you, I just want to collect these doors and I'll be on my way. That's all I want. Doors collected. Take Mr. YT out. Ha! Get deflected. Oh wow, that sorcerer just got obliterated. Still do not appreciate you destroying all the doors though. Oh yeah, good move. Good splash damage. We love it. Pop, 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 pop. It is frickin' there we go. It took a little bit. It's over now. Goblins are out of here. Where is the last goblin? There's still music playing as if there's another goblin. Oh. Doors have been replaced. Doors. I cannot. Oh my god, my aim just does not exist there. Anyway, that means the Goblin Tinker should be moving in somewhat soon. Hopefully. Not the nerdy slime, except the Goblin Tinker. Wrong NPC. There you go. Goblin Tinker is here. I can run get rugged boots. And along with that, I can get Spectre boots. Along with that, I can get lightning boots. And reforge all the stuff. Don't have the fucking money for it. Fuck my life. Actually, I do have the money for it. I don't have the money for that though. Thank you. Wrong. No, that. I have an aglet, don't I? I should have an aglet, I think. Spectre boots. Do I not have an do I not have an aglet? I don't have a fucking aglet. Oh my god. Well, that's fun. Can I buy an aglet? I don't. Oh, actually, I think I have some ore. Maybe copper. Pretty sure you need that to make an aglet. I guess not. What else do I need to make an aglet? Hello, Classy 18, and how are you this fine night, afternoon? I don't know where you're at, but hope you're having a fine insert time here. I guess it isn't what makes an aglet. I had a mind, I'm gonna make an aglet, but I can't seem to find it. Why it's shimmer, not craft. Bar. Tinker's Workshop, that's what it is. Okay. Can I make the aglet? No, lady? I'm doing fine, thank you. Wait. Oh, it's a magic thing, dang it. I'm just doing Terraria. Simple as enough. But I need to get an aglet, which is very fun. Very fun. I want to be able to make the lightning boots. This thing seems to disagree with me, though. Sold by the Tinkerer. I'm stupid. Of course it's sold by the Tinkerer. What's the... Actually, I was gonna say, I think I have to go to the jungle, but I think I can just assign them to a house down here. Mr. Tinkerer, would you be so kind as to move down there? Thank you. Oh wait, I don't have money. I don't have money to give him. Frick. I hate having no money. Lots of pain. My life is suffering. I mean, I can sell actually a lot of stuff though. Just realized I have a lot to sell. Okay, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to sell. Oh wait. Oh wait, that was a door. Goblin broke one of the doors again. Stupid. And they broke the tall gate. How'd they break? Stupid goblins. I hate them. They shouldn't be able to break the door. They should be able to open it like zombies can during Blood Moons and stuff, but they shouldn't be able to freaking tear it down. They shouldn't be able to FBI open up style it. Oh yeah, that's a lot of money. Thank you, 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 thank you. Money for me. Give me that aglet and give me those ice skates. Take that in the meantime. They do. They very much do. And guess what? I live in America. You know what that means. You know what that means. Second Amendment, MFers. Frostbark. Yay. Frostbark boots. I'm not gonna use melee speed ever. Great. I am a gunman. Gun only, actually. I'm just gunman. Anything I'm actually gonna use here. I already have a Band of Life again. I need to get another accessory. Believe it or not. What accessory do I want to go for? Oh, I did not mean to drink that. I would have switched. Stupid. To get a meteor to fall still. Gonna take forever. Nicholas, do you got anything? Or Squirrel, also you got everything? No, you do not. I didn't. I asked for Nicholas, which is also me. I'm asking myself. Yeah, totally. Love being confusing. Deven, you have anything? No, I don't want a worm snack. You probably don't. In fact, I know you don't. Why is it doing that? Yeah, Vanity stuff. Don't care, don't care. Why? Why is that annoying that? It's annoying. I don't know why it's doing that, but I have to use my mouse for this for some reason. Oh, no I don't, no I don't. Weird. Hairy cloak, something the chibi calico cat. Oh, hi, Divya. Hi, Abomination. Just fall from the sky, got it. I hate this. I hate this. Oh, I have eaten things from, of course. I'm stupid. I already have the royal gel. Why did I think I hadn't been freaking goblin? Not the. Oh my god. Shark. Good. Yeah, that's actually a fair point. Yeah, shark necklace is probably good for ranger. Yeah. I also have this guy, so you can get something in the combat. There's white string only. Okay, got it. Okay. I guess it's TP time. Not close enough. Okay. I'm gonna get a freaking meteor to fall anyway. But something I might want to attack. What? Want to attack? Huh? Wait, do I actually have a? Don't think I had a button happen yet. I don't think, right? Yeah, no, I have not. So, I want to get a battle potion from Mr. Young. Or no, just probably Withered. Potion seller, I'm going to battle, and I only need your strongest potions. Battle potion. Get 2 of them. Because I want to get a cherry ring. That's also an accessory as a thing. Probably go away from NPCs. I'd probably help. What the heck are you? A moonflower bat? Moonflare bat? Drop moonflare fragments. When did that get here? I remember seeing one of you. I made that joke early in the stream, buddy. I literally made that joke early in the stream. You want it? It's yours, my friend. As long as you have enough rubies. It seems we have some sophisticated gentlemen in the chat. Actually, you could be a woman. Sorry if that's the case. I stand corrected if that is the case. No ring for me. Shackle? I mean, Could wear that for now, I guess. I'm not gonna use it, but after I get something better, but... Oh wow, this technique is kind of cool. Ow. Ah, skeleton. He doesn't realize I'm here. Broken. Okay, thank you. Some antique doors. Oh, here another skeleton. Where's that boy? Where's Mr. Other Skeleton? Where's another some boy? Zombie banner. Banner box. Only defeated 50 zombies? Already defeated the Cthulhu, what? I saw ya. Don't think I didn't. You're dying, buddy. Also take your torches and turn off auto torch, just in case it wants to place them in random spots. Ow. Lucky Horseshoe would also be nice. I could probably go exploring. Oh, hi, another one of the moonflower bats. Whatever you are. Me, your moonflower fragments. Oh, multiple enemies. Give me a cherry ring? Oh no. No cherry ring for me. Sorry for the boring stuff going on right now. Wait, if I go too high up... Oh no, it's just refreshing the song. I'm stupid. Mods are in the description. But the main one, that one's from is Mod of Redemption. Also, I probably should add the texture pack. No, not texture pack. I meant the music pack that I specifically made. Melody Resource Pack. Go download today. No, yeah, no, you don't have to. It's very specific, very niche creator, I guess. Kind of niche. Hard dubstep stuff. That's not what this music is from, though. This is a modded track. Oh, skeletons. Oh yeah, I can turn into the spirit realm. Spirit realm. I forgot about this thing. I can explore and kill those spirits. And gather the lost souls. Forgot I could do that. It's very weird. I should probably change the keybind though from S to something else. Cause I use controller mainly, so like normally I don't use S. Come back here, bat. Thank you. Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I saw that the Mod Redemption added that. It's pretty cool. It's like giving me not Dark Souls. No, I don't remember. Giving me Skyrim flashbacks. Oh, it's like the music sounds like Skyrim. Hi, bat. Popped. Get popped. nothing, nothing like facing into the afterlife to kill something again. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Amazing quote. Nice. We love doing that. Kill myself just so I can kill that thing again. Let's go. It's like, ah, I finally died. At least I don't have to live in pain forever. Enter me. You think I didn't hear no bell? I didn't hear no bell. Yeah, that's really. Can my, like, shotgun work? That was, like, all focused in one area. Wow. Yeah, think again. Yep. Now, please get that cherry ring and be very appreciated. Oh, Moonflare Bat. They weren't here on the first night, so like, or first few nights, so like, I don't know what triggered Moonflare Bats to start spawning, but they spawn now. Could be the Eye of Cthulhu, it could be, Vinewrath Bane, is the name? No, Thorn, that's a different mod. And it could be the Keeper, or Urhan. One of those. Any of those could be what spawns Moonflare Bats, but I will probably never know when it was. Okay. That's one way, I guess. I don't care. Ah. No ring. No ring. Like the frickin' Megamind. No ring. Oh, hi, Skeleton. How you doing? I have not killed the World Eater yet. I thought meteors could spawn before, World Eagle. Like, seriously? I swear you could get that before killing the World Eagle boss. I mean, that would be very good to know. Yeah. Guess I could do that next. I just wanted to get it before being the Brain of Cthulhu because I wanted meteor bullets, but I guess that might not be an option. Ah. That might be it. That could very well be it. One more minute of battle. I have another battle potion, I guess, too, but I don't know if I want to use it at this point. I could get silver bullets, actually. I have good enough silver, actually. Probably could just make silver bullets. One mirror bullets, because, you know, they'd be good underground. Like, bouncing up all against the walls and stuff. Yeah. Really? Okay, there. Here's a zombie. There it is. 2 zombies. Really? You're not gonna give me a cherry right now. Well, screw you two, game. And also, this is supposed to be money. Why is it not going to my piggy bank? This guy does not recognize me. Oh, he recognized me. Pop. Pop. And pop. Time to kill a spirit again. Hi, how you doing? I'm totally gonna be friends with you. Oh, I was aiming for something else. There's a zombie behind you. There you go. Have fun in the afterlife. The afterlife. Really? No cherrying for me? Boo. That's sad. Because, Cherry Moon gives regeneration, which is very nice. And you can imagine why. Oh, I hit him with all 3 of that one. Sorry. That is how I say hello and goodbye. Cherry Moon is gone. And now I make as much silver bullets as I can. Can I make? I can! I have enough! Yay! I have just enough. I have 1 silver thing left over. Oh, that's nice. Wait, where did my Moonflare shards go? Am I stupid? Did I already have Moonflare shards? What the heck? Where'd they go? Oh! Oh my god, there's no moonlight to reflect! That's so cool, they changed sprite! That's actually pretty cool. During day and night. That's actually really cool. It's like a fallen star kind of, but like, instead of disappearing in the day, it just didn't have any light. What can you make? Iridescent stuff, moonfire candles, OmniSwing wards off the effects of a graveyard. Moonfire arrow, lunar shot, not a gun sadly, so I can't use it. And moonfire staff. Dang it. I wish it was... I wish it would have had a frickin'... I can't think. Yeah, it is very cool. Anyways, to buy a magic open arena. Buy 2 just in case. From you. And then I'll get some bombs from you. Or boom shurikens. Don't know if that'll work. I'll get some of that and some bombs as well. I think 15 bombs should do. 16, whatever. 16 should work as well. Let's head, this one? Yeah, let's do this one. Pretty open area over there. Wonder if a new moon happens if they still have this right. I wonder as well. It's a good theory. Where I think would be, I don't know. I'm just saying shit at this moment. I'm focused on making new bullets because I've had a history of just not making new bullets ever. I don't know why I just don't, but I just don't. It isn't that much new around, but I think I can do it. Game theory, yep. Oh. I thought platinum pickaxe was enough to mine, crimtane. I guess not. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's go. Let's fight, buddy. Oh, I love this song. I forgot that it's Boss 3's Ghost. Best freaking song of Panelia. Where? Oh, there's your minions. Okay, you actually don't do that much damage, which is good. Yeah, I knew it, but the thing is, platinum can break crimtane, but it can't break crimstone. That's the weird thing about it. I'm in master mode. I thought you'd do more damage. You know what? I just think mini shark is best here. Ah, yes. Ow. They've inflict broken armor? I didn't realize that actually. Why does... Oh, also inflict slowed? Is that master mode or has that always been a thing? And poisoned? Why am I poisoned? Then inflicting new debuff every time? Like, what the heck is this? Huh. Weird. I don't know why. I just never noticed it ever. Oh, I love this song so much. It is a very chill fight, though my damage is very much lacking. Come on. Just one hit. Just die hard. Thank you. Oh, lag. Why is it so laggy all of a sudden? That. Yeah, my damage is really bad. Actually, I wonder if... Wrong thing. Also, thank you, Autolock, for having an arrow next to the real Brave 2. That kind of helps. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you, Xbox controller, for having that be a thing. Not today, buddy. You did. Brain is done. My dog is howling out there. I wonder what's going on. Okay, well, that was... I was stressing over that fight a lot more than I should have. I thought it would actually be hard. Brain of Cohesion, that's what I can use as last accessory slot. It's very much what I can use. Then next, got Sea of Infection, Equal Crest Golem. Naturally spawns on the surface during the day after. Ah, interesting. Oh, what the fuck is that? Ah, that's creepy. That is very creepy. I'm gonna have nightmares. That is that's not cool. Very creepy. Very much don't like. And cue a mirror. Yep, cue a mirror. And I can craft Crimson Altar with one of my mods. Thank you. Golem's cursed cousin. Yep. Oh yeah, I think there was a special. There's a special gun I can make with tissue samples, or is it only a corruption one? I don't remember. Tissue samples. I guess I'll see, because it's like a Knight's Edge gun that I have for one of my mods. Huh? I have tissue samples, right? What? Huh? I have tissue. What? Oh, that's why. I'm stupid. Yeah, then on. That's not what I pressed. I think. Guy, I need advice. Oh yeah, also the quartz stuff. What do you do? Bizard? Let me guess, it's a frickin'... Let me guess, it's frickin' only corruption stuff. Luckily I can craft it anyway, but like... I'd rather not have to do that. Where's Shadow Scale? Am I blind? I think I'm blind. Eh? Oh wait, that's in my... I'm so fucking stupid! Why am I so fucking stupid? Let me guess, that's how I make the gun. No? Oh? That's not how I make the gun. Okay. Well, how do I make said gun? Night Glock. I don't know. I do not know what it is called. But I know there is... Oh wait, I think I might be stupid. I think I might be very stupid. Because I'm pretty sure you need this, not the actual... I'm probably stupid. Yeah, I'm so fucking stupid. I just need the boomstick and the Phoenix Blaster. I am so stupid! Holy crap! Why am I so dumb? Oh my god. Oh, it pains me how dumb that was. This is a cry for help. Well, I guess I'll make the, oh, that's not crafting. I'm stupid. Oh, I didn't know that was stupid, yeah. God, we nightmare Phoenix. Do I have obsidian skin yet? Don't think I do. Some of what for you? Some of the stupidity? Gladly. Do I even have to buy 30? I think I do. Nice. Oh, I already had a lot in there. Okay. I can take a few out and sell them. I got like nothing for that. Holy crap. Okay, it's elevator time. Well, actually, I might want to reforge my mini shark. If I have enough money for it. Because also, I can upgrade this M4A1 demon after I get some more stuff. Can you get out of my way, Humphrey? I want to talk to Nudar. Where'd my Reforge bar menu go? Isn't there a Reforge menu? Well, that costs very little Reforge though. Ah! I see, that's cool. I see how it works. Why am I I am so stupid. Why am I reforging that when I'm literally gonna be buying, making a Hellstone one soon? Why? Why me? Why? Let's go. Let's go, stupid me. I'll have to remember I don't have frickin' horseshoe yet. Oh, fuck you. I think I might want to get the lucky horseshoe. If it just, I think it's just me, but I won't want to get the lucky horseshoe. Cause I don't want to deal with that. According to the map, there is something there. First of all, Golden Gateway. Do not know what that means, but I am very curious. Actually, I think I might have some gravitations. I'm gonna get rid of that. It's kind of annoying. Potions. I have 1 gravitation. That should be enough for some stuff, at least. So that's where I left those extra blocks, my bad. Nice. Left eye. I see you on the map, buddy. I'm not running into him. I'm not falling on you. Bam. Okay, what is this thing? A golden gateway. What the fuck? Can I use it? I can't use it. The fuck is that? It looks very cool, but like, what is it? It looks sick though, like, not gonna lie. Thing looks sick. I suppose we'll probably find out what it does sooner or later. Oh, a cloud colors talisman? A cloud with a dog's face. Enchanted Moon. I got a dog, yo. I got a dog balloon. Okay. A dog balloon? A dog balloon? A dog cloud. Got it. Weird, but okay. Oh, it's a light pet. That's cool, actually. I'd rather have a floating one than the freaking heart I get. Well, lucky horseshoe, and we're good. Though I might want to keep exploring. Though, the next one is pretty far away. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Also, where's Architect? We is Mr. Architect. Because I can. Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm just gonna do. Where's my cursor? Where'd my? There you go. Can do that if you don't mind. What? I was stuck upside down for a second. Like, what was that for? Buy. Oh wow, it costs. That costs a lot. Okay. Don't like that. Yeah, exactly. And Cloud Balloon Horseshoe, too. I also do that. I can do a fart in a balloon, too, if I want to. There's many options I can do here. I'm doing this new regular standard Cloud Balloon Horseshoe. Okay. Oh, there's some. Already some of that for me. Oh yeah, Ghoul, another really good song. The sequel to Ghost, which you heard with the Grand Cthulhu theme. Collect all the Hellstone. It's very laggy for some reason. I'll get like 999 Hellstone. Should be enough. Or maybe like 750 actually. That's probably a better number. Probably don't need that much. I'm not. This isn't Calamity like the Ultra Mod playthrough I've done. Also, why is it so laggy all of a sudden? My computer no like hell apparently. It's hell for my computer. Hell for me in game and hell. Where am I? Actually, 500 Hellstone should actually be enough. I keep going down, but like 500 should be enough, I'd say. I'd hope. I mean, I can always go down if I need to. It cannot handle it, you're right. It cannot handle that. It's turning the computer into a ghoul. Classic Ghost. It pulled a ghost. You know, this whole song is kind of pulling a ghost, but that's beside the point. Dude, what the fuck? That whole bat is like, let me in! Let me in! 583, that should be enough also, I hope. I didn't get Hellforge. I have to go back down! No. I didn't get a Hellforge. I'm stupid. Oh yeah, good point. Good point. I forget the slime mount can do that. You're a shadow chest, but not. Oh wow, there's a lot of things after me already. Oh wow, yeah, it's just pouring on. Yeah, I don't really care about you guys. Can you like get out of the way? I'd be appreciated. I'm trying to find myself. Reforge! Okay. See y'all. What am I missing? Oh, I thought I put you. Weird. Make them 29 bars. That should be enough for some stuffs, including upgrading this boy to the M4A1 Mutant. Whippy Y. Who is a oh, I got damaged. Frick you. Who is a Whippy Y? What the fuck? Why did that guy send me a send request? Oh, I think he's the guy that got hacked, if I remember correctly. I think. Okay. Got that. I'm gonna have to reforge it, but whatever. Did a meteorite ever fall? No. Unfortunately. Can sell some stuff. What kind of stuff can I sell? Can sell this armor that I'm not gonna use anymore. Oh wait, I want to shop first. Oh, that stuff has no value, are you kidding me? That's annoying. Yeah, I don't have much money now. That's unfortunate. Now, how much did it cost to... Oh, it didn't cost much. Good. Forceful, hurtful, murderous, demonic. Superior? I'll take superior. That'll work. I actually have a decent amount of money now. And now I have to figure out how to fight the seed of infection. Use an anomaly. Oh yeah, anomaly detector. But I need meteorite for that. I hate you. Meteorite, you better fall this night. I swear if you don't, I'm gonna be upset. I think it's supposed to be at midnight. Oh, I saw that. I saw that. That's a meteor. Yes! Finally! I can do something with meteorites. Oh my god, it's a miracle, guys. I don't know why I'm acting like it's been forever. It's the only night it can happen. Because it's the first night it could happen. Like, why am I being so dramatic? Oh yeah, my world is very, not broken. It's very annoying because, like, on both sides there's crimson, like, very close to spawn. So that was very fun to deal with early on in the playthrough. My only choice was to go down. I could not explore left or right. So yeah, that's fun. Still that portal. Oh, I did not see you there. Oh, hi, Moonflare Bat. I mean, I don't need your stuff, actually. Now I think about it. They're pretty much worthless to me. Oh, hi, Moonflare Bat. How you doing? Though, when I fight the sea infection, I don't know if it's required, really, like if it's a good idea, because in this mod, there is alignment, like it can be good or evil, and I want the good side. So, like, you know, fighting a seed of infection which I'm pretty sure is just gonna release the infection. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Makes me kind of nervous. Oh, hi, Fanny. How are you? Can I kill you? Oh! I could! I don't know why I even thought to do that, but I did, and, well, I can kill them. I can kill the fairies. Oh, look, a fairy! Let me guess, the meteor isn't getting on this side of the world, is it? Oh yeah, there's another crimson here. Forgot to mention that as well. From my experience, meteors have a fondness. I have a mod that that disables spread, though I'm not sure if it's working right or not. Because I don't know, it's weird. Not sure if it's working. By the way, I think I also have a mod that makes so NPCs can live in the Crimson in case that shit happens, actually. If the night wasn't almost over, I would actually maybe want to fight Skeletron. For the heck of it, but yeah, the night's almost over, so that's almost certain death. I know what the Crimson is, by the way. Terraria is basically my main thing I've done on this channel. Oh, that's how you get those Kabruka shells? Oh! That's actually pretty good. Oh, it's a helmet. Oh, frick. Don't want to waste a helmet slot for that. Wonder if it's sellable. Maybe it's ominous all of a sudden. Yeah, there's like 4 Crimson in this world, and it's not even hard mode yet. It's like, this world kind of hates me, not gonna lie. This world generation, not the world. Get ignored. Oh, wait. You see the map there? I think you know what time it is. It's digging time! There's zombies coming, but I don't really care. They're gonna get destroyed. But maybe get a sandstorm in a bottle? That'd be cool. Let me through! Frick. What was that? Oh yeah, that was the timer thing. Buddy, don't even. I said don't even, yet evened. I said don't even. You're evening. Evening, I said don't. Magic carpet. I actually might use that as well. Might. Don't know if I want to use it. Any money up here? No. Okay. Where is Mr. Meteor? Yes, very much a good find. I cannot aim, holy crap. I almost never see a meteor in the jungle, so that would be interesting. Oh, hi, Elu Castle of the Bot. You want something to place that's really cool? It's called the Abyss. I'm gonna send you there now. Bye! Viewer bots and Twitch, they're everywhere. I hate them. Welcome to the jungle. Where is this meteorite? Oh, a chicken. I need to kill a chicken. Because I remember there's a mini boss in an event I can do from getting chicken eggs. Forgot about that for a second. Hey, oh boy. Right. This car needs to catch up. It's slow. Welcome to the jungle. Ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo. Also, I have a big jungle. This is definitely gonna get corrupted when it turns to hard mode. Or crimsonified, whatever. Whatever you want to say. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do every time. I'm not even joking, I do that every time pretty much. Pair fragments? Huh. Oh, wait, I didn't buy that. Violin. Don't care about you. I just want to find this dang meteorite already. Because it don't really seem to exist right now. I shouldn't have used the freaking Metaconch. It was pretty close to spawn apparently. Just kind of annoying. No. Wait, what? Where is this meteor? Don't tell me it crashed into the tree. What the heck? The meteorite go down here? No way it went down here. Where's the meteor? Where's the meteor? It can. But like, that'd be very unfortunate. And I'm actually kind of convinced it happened now. I am upset. Of course it did. I'm gonna have to buy a frickin' potion for that. I'll buy 2 just in case, but like, that's totally not annoying at all. Could also went on top of that, but it didn't. I can go right here, maybe. Do not wait on this island. Wait, was that something I just... Was that a chest or something? It was a water chest. Don't really care. Not gonna lie. Oh no! Don't, no, don't give me that idea. Oh no. I assume, since Mod Redemption is a really well made mod, I assume they'd code something in to prevent that. But, oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no. I really hope that's not the case. Love this song. Is it here? Not here. I'll take this back and the fledgling rings. Should take all this back. I'm taking all of it. So it's not on that side because there's no. Oh wait, there's 2 more sky islands. It'd be better to search these ones anyway. Yeah. You're scaring me now with the idea that I could possibly be up there. It's not on this one. What is that? Oh, is that the golem? Oh, that's the golem. Oh, hi. Oh, it has a mini boss theme. That's cool. Whoa! Can you, like, come to me? You can roll. Whoa! Whoa! That's so cool. That's so cool! Attack. Oh, it's falling to earth. It can like despawn. I don't really care. I'll fight it again later. Is it gonna despawn? I don't think it's gonna despawn. Oh, it despawned. Never mind. I don't think it's gonna despawn. Despawns. Funny moment. I swear, if this thing is on the Golden Gate, I'm going to scream. Okay, doesn't seem like it's on the Golden Gate. Good. Thank God. Is it here? No. It's not there. It's not on the Golden Gate. It's not here either. I collect the loot in this one. Whatever. Not here either. No, I'd just be better doing this. Oh, what the heck happened to the hair there? It's not here. I swear, if the meteorite just didn't spawn, I'm gonna be upset. Like, imagine that happened. Oh, lag. Oh, that's fun. It's not here either. What the hell? The hell? Where's the meteorite? I don't know if I went to the jungle one. I guess, yeah, there is some in shadow chests, but like I want to beat the Eye of Infection before I do that, because basically I'm doing this thing where I have two different worlds, same seed, but instead of Modern Redemption it's Spooky, and I have to do everything before Skeletron. Like I do everything before I do everything before Eye of Cthulhu. Eye of Cthulhu, like go into the Spooky world, do everything up to Eye of Cthulhu, with the Eye of Cthulhu. Then I go back to this world where I'm doing everything until Skeletron. I'm not being Skeletron, but oh, and I accidentally did that. Whatever. Whatever, I don't think it was there anymore. I mean, it also can land the dungeon, I'm pretty sure, too. So that could actually happen. Not here either. Yeah, what the fuck? Meteor no exist, apparently. Well, that's not annoying at all. Ugh. Well, that puts me in a bit of a predicament. Because I have to beat the infection somehow. I could wait for another meteorite to spawn. I could do that. But I'd rather not do that, I'm saying. So what do you have? Nothing I care about. Got it. What do I do about this? I don't want to. I doubt you sell it architect, so I'm gonna check at least though. Yeah, you don't sell meteorite. I doubt you would. Well, this is great. You know what I could do? I think I have an idea. Don't know if you've heard the strategy where you spawn in a boss and then you go into the dungeon and basically no dungeon guardian will spawn. That's my idea. I'm gonna hope I can get a shadow chest. Or a shadow key. I'm gonna hope I can get a shadow key. That would be amazing. Like, that would be best case scenario. It's probably not gonna happen. But I could try it. Have to be really lucky, but I can try it. I hope it works. I hope there's some shadow key in there. Because I don't think I'm going to take that much damage from the eye. Just saying it now. I should also buy a house from you. Magic small house. That way I can set my spawn. I can do it again if I accidentally die. Hopefully I don't take that much damage from the eye. I probably shouldn't, but whatever. Set the bed. I don't fight the eye. I just go down. This is what you call big brains, gentlemen. I have to not kill the frickin' eye. Exploring the dungeon before I'm supposed to. I love this trick. I love this trick. It's such a good trick. You like my strategy? It's a little bit cheating. It's also not. It's within the base game. It's not cheating. It's just using what I have at my disposal. Yes, that's what I tell myself. Hey, and there's a golden chest. Oh, can you not eye? Okay, well. Ow. Give me a... Oh. Dang it. I have to look for another one. Okay, I should probably drink a potion. Oh, no. Wow, that's not a line here. It should not be, this isn't really loud, but I ignore that. Oh, got a golden key. Give me, oh, not what I needed. Not what I needed. Gonna need everything but what I need. And there's like 3 things I could use. Amazing song. Oh, that's not good. Oh, he's in phase 2. I mean, I'll be taking much more damage. What am I gonna get here? Shadow key! Haha! Get owned! Get owned, Skeletron! I don't need to beat you, you dumb! You dumma! Ha! Oh my god, I love this. Oh, best idea ever. I am above you, Skeletron. I don't need you. I never did. I actually got it though. Oh god, I gotta go. Oh, that got close. That got close. But I got the freaking shadow key. Let's go! Ah, yes. I am so smart. Okay. I need to get one more thing with me, right? And I'll head back up. Voodoo Demon. I kind of want to be ya. Come on. Give me some meteorite. That's all I want. See ya. Hope you have a good day. I'm about to end the stream too after I beat the seer infection, so pretty much stay the whole stream. No worries. Ooh, yes, 2 of them. Any of that. Just potions. Okay, so I'll have to use what do you got? Hey, more silver bars, that's what it is. Or not. Wait, didn't I have like a tracker or something? Huh? I'm confused. I don't know what that means, buddy. Speak the whole thing, please. Oh my... freaking magic mirror. Oh, I need obsidian, that's why. That's what it was. Anomaly detector. Time to do it. Okay. Let's fight you. A portal to another world has opened. Seed of infection. Whoa. Ooh, dashes. Ah, almost got it. Ah, almost got it. It's over. It's been, and it's over. Scene infection has been defeated. Casino system? I like that. Toxic grenade. Does a casino infection drop a gun? No, does not drop a gun. To latch onto you? Oh, no, no. I would not like it to latch onto me. Sorry. Oh, what the heck? Hi. Ah. I thought you were someone else. Sorry about that. Anyways, hello. I'm Adam, and I am an android originating from a faraway snowy wasteland. Oh, that's great. Seeing as I won't be returning to that frozen hell for a good while, mind if I stay here? Sure, I assume you've some shelter to stay at? The resemblance between them is uncanny. Between who? Epidrotrian? Okay. Medic outfit? Okay. Weird. Okay. Got it, okay. God, what can I make with these Xenomite shards? Anything I'm interested in? Xenomite, raw xenium, Luminite. Empty bot here? Try to use toxic grenades. Okay, I guess not. And yeah, xenium refinery for that, so. Yeah, I pretty much can't take anything with this. I can't do this right now. Well. That's disappointing, I guess, but guess we on to some more vanilla stuff next stream. Get 5,000 more bullets to make meteor bolts with. Meteor shot, yay. Okay, well, that'll be it for today's stream. Hope